What's up, Tube? Welcome back to Legwedo's Chop Shop, the second best gel blast channel on the internet. And my throat is a bit sore because I was doing a lot of yelling and screaming at Donnybrook yesterday. But today we are here to look at the SKD Beretta 92. It's cute how they did that. Alright. I was down at Armored Heaven doing some mods for Brad, and I saw this, and well, what can I say? Now it's here. This is how it comes. This is made by the company that made the G18. This one. Essentially, it's very similar, but a much nicer build, and I'll get into that. As you see, this is what comes in the box when you get it. Standard stuff. Let's get right into it here. Okay, as you can see, this is the Beretta. It's very nice nylon construction. It feels a lot nicer and a lot weightier than the Glock does. The Glock feels a little bit plasticky, but the nylon of the Beretta feels a lot nicer. You can see it's still got the little charging plug that actually plugs into the pistol to charge, and that happens to be the same plug as the Glock, so that's interchangeable with the Glock. So they're using the same connection there, which is a good thing. It annoys me a little bit that it's different from every other blaster charger, but I guess that's what you get when you've got a tiny little plug on a small pistol and you don't have much form factor. This flashlight is interesting because it is also charged by the same little 7-volt charger. So this is a 7-volt flashlight. It actually works. It's not super bright, but it does work. So there's a 7-volt battery inside this light, and there is a 7-volt battery inside this pistol as well. So when you join these together, there's a position here on the switch, so you don't have your normal on and off. You've got on and off and 14.8 volts. When you put it in the 14.8 volt position and slide the flashlight on, this is now 14.8 volts. It runs the two batteries in series to give you 14.8 volts. The terminals are at the bottom there and on there. So you double your voltage. So as you can see, let's see, is this on? Very snappy trigger response on the 14 volts, and on the 7 volts, sort of very similar to what we're used to with the Glock 18. This is Glock 18 and a mag here. You can see the top of the mags are identical. The only difference is obviously the Beretta has a slight curve, so the mag has a slight curve to fit the Beretta. I have seen people get the extended mag from the Glock and modify it to suit the Beretta, which might be handy because the mags are very, very small. But I mean, for a pistol, I guess that's what you want. I mean, I'd prefer to have this. I used to run the long mags, but I now just run the short mags because I figure if I have to pull my pistol out, something's gone very, very wrong, and it's probably the last thing that I want to be doing, actually. Or if I'm too close range to use a powerful blaster, I'll pull the pistol and use that. So that's all well and good. Let's have a look inside. Alright, as with the G18, there is a takedown pin right here. I think I have the right size driver. There we go. Alright, so you have the takedown pin, and then I think this is the same as the Glock. Yeah, you pull the slide forward. Oh, that was around in the chamber. Could have killed us all. Alright, I'm going to do the same with the Glock, just for science. Just so we can compare what is actually going on inside of these, because I have a feeling the internals are very similar. Okay. Okay, so aside from the color of the gearbox, which is orange in the Glock and black in the Beretta, internally the gears look identical. The system that the slide runs off of looks identical. The batteries look identical, although this particular one is sitting 90 degrees different to the Beretta, but I'm sure that's just a placement thing. Now, this is what I find interesting. Alright, circuit boards inside there. So, to me, they look very, very similar. I want to delve deeper into that. Alright, let's have a look at these slides. Some of you who are paying attention may notice that my Glock slide is missing the spring retainer. Also has a Gen 8 spring in it, not the standard not the standard spring that comes in the Glock. So I usually have a custom slide on this, so it doesn't use that spring retainer, but I chucked the standard one on for comparative purposes, and I don't know whether I've lost the spring retainer. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Let's have a look at these. Alright, so the T-piece looks identical, albeit black instead of orange. The plunger and all that is identical. In fact, I have here a set of the new Beretta ones to put into my Glock, because these white ones, I think the nylon is stronger than these black and or clear ones. You can see I've got both clear and black in this one. Various versions in the past have had both clear or both black, and I think I've snapped mine so many times that I've got some sort of weird Frankenstein of black and clear in there. But other than the external moldings looking different, those slides are pretty much identical. I wonder if you could put the Beretta slide on. This is just for science. You can totally put the Beretta slide on the Glock. That would almost work, except for the fact that this bit's a bit too narrow. But they are, for all intents and purposes, the slides are identical. The mechanism in there is identical. The gearboxes are identical. The only thing that's obviously not identical is the mags, because they need to be slightly different shapes, but I'd say internally the mechanisms are probably going to be the same. I'm interested now in, because I mean, I like the Beretta, but I also really like the look of the Glock. So I'm pretty keen to get this 14-volt system into a Glock. So I want to have a look at this. Okay, cool. Now that the battery's out, I can see the two terminals here for the 14 volts. That's them. They run a red and a black wire back to this part of the circuit board. Focus on that, please, camera. Right, there they are. So, if you can see this circuit board's got a KL 8006 number, and I think the Glock is a KL8000. KL8000 8000. How about that? The pads for, they're there. Right here. They're the pads that the 14 volt runs into on the Beretta. Just on the Glock, that they're actually not connected up to anything. So there is a slight variation between the two circuit boards. This obviously being the Glock. It's only got the 3-position switch here, and the wires aren't connected for that 14 volt tab. Also, there's no pinhole here for the switch. The Beretta one has a 4-position switch. Sorry, the 3-position switch, which has got 4 terminals on it. Plus you've got these 2 wires connected to the front 2 terminals. The circuit board itself is the same physical size. Fits in the same location. I'm saying this is probably a go. I reckon anyone can get the 14 volt option onto the Glock. Focus. Just got to get the 2 terminals dremeled out here, and maybe slightly bigger hole for the largest switch. Other than that, it's the same charging port, same gearbox, everything is the same. So yeah, that is good news. That is good news. The battery's the same as well, by the way. I don't know if you saw me. I think I took them out off camera. That's one from the Glock, and that's one from the Beretta. They are both 7.4 volts, 450 milliamp hours, although that might be slightly overrated. I don't think they're actually 400 milliamp hours. Probably closer to like 180 or something like that, at a guess. I'm just guessing. Yeah, so that is cool. What I might do now, I don't have my chrono on me, unfortunately, so I can't chrono it, but suffice to say that the chrono result's probably going to be very similar to the standard Glock, being that the mechanism here is all the same as the standard Glock, unless you have a slightly better air seal in here, but everything in there seems to be the same, so I don't see how that would be, how that would, although the hole in the Beretta T-piece does seem to be a little bit larger. Just by eye, that hole seems to be a bit larger diameter in here, entry to the T-piece. Yeah, that's, maybe there is something slightly different in here. Let's have a look. Take this barrel out. I'll pop this. Oh yeah, take the black tip off. Does look very similar to the later model Glock ones. Let's have a look. Very, very similar. If anything, slight changes for the actual shape of the Beretta slide. Yeah, I think I'll test the FPS on it. I think I'm gonna guess it's probably gonna be around the somewhere between 120 to 150 FPS. I'm guessing. Let's go deeper. All right, let's sort this. Mags, battery, slide, barrel. Alright, just because I don't want to get these too mixed up, I am gonna take this one down. Just can't help myself. Get a new toy, gotta break it. Always. Can't not do it. Alright, so looks like most of the screws. Unless there's some sort of magic holding it together. There is some sort of magic holding it together. These side grips. Look at that. They come off. Looks like all of them. Is that one? No, it's just a grip hole. Alright. Ah, I see. Clips. Clips. And here we have a sticker. It's got to come off, unfortunately. Always. Okay. There you have it. There's the gearbox. Looking strikingly similar to the Glock one, albeit without this. Alright, shall I pull the Glock apart too? We're here, have we got time? Alright. There we go. Now, that, as you can see, is very, very similar. I'm most interested in the circuit board. I want to know if I can focus. I want to know the difference between this circuit board and the Beretta circuit board. So, see here, a couple of little Mosfets on there, and then there's a chip there. I'm going to take a look at what that is. I can barely see what it is. If there's numbers on it, I can't make them out. Again, we have the Beretta board, looking very similar on the bottom, but on the top, it's different. You can see the Mosfet's much larger. They've gone and done something to this chip. I can't make out any numbers on these chips. Let me have a look. One of the secrets in Chinese manufacturing is to grind the numbers off the top of your chips so that no one knows what that chip is. I dare say it's some kind of package with FETs in it, I think. It's hard to tell. They've removed all the numbers off of it, but it does look significantly chunkier than that of the Glock. And then here, these will be the Mosfets. Basically, turn the power on to your motor. And in fact, if you look here, you'll see that the red and black wires that run to the motor basically come straight out the back of these Mosfets here. And those two are, let me have a look in the light. Looks like they say 2350 on the chip. So the 2350 is indeed an N-channel MOSFET with a maximum voltage of 150 volts, which is fabulous for such a tiny little thing. Unfortunately, it's got a maximum current of 8.5 amps, and then it will melt. So, I mean, there's no question on whether or not this board would be able to handle 14 volts. It most likely would be able to, but I think these MOSFETs would melt pretty quickly. I think we might just pull a little bit more current than it's capable of. It's hard to tell what it is when people have ground the surfaces off the chip, so you can't read them. However, they do look a little bit chunkier and therefore probably going to handle more current. I don't think there's any question of whether or not the motors inside there can handle it. I'm sure they can handle it. It's just a matter of whether this early model board could handle it, and I'm pretty sure it probably won't. Once we up the voltage to 14, it's probably not going to take the current Hence why this one's been designed better. But having said that, this I think would be easy enough to retrofit into that if we have the appropriate parts. I mean, everything else is identical, circuit board's same size, just got to make a little adjustment here, and yeah, we could be good to go on that 14 volt Glock. Alright, so I've put them back together, and I mean, there they are on 7 volts, as near enough as makes no difference. The Glock and the Beretta, pretty much the same, but when you put the little additional battery shaped flashlight shaped battery thing, the Beretta really changes into something else. Alright guys, that's it for me. Let me know if you know where to get one of the Mosfet boards from this, because I do want to get one into the Glock, and I've had a quick look around, can't find any yet, so let me know if you find out before I do. Also hit me up if you want to buy a patch from me, and yeah. And don't forget to support my channel by buying me a coffee. That's a not a literal coffee, but it's just like a small donation on my buy me a coffee site down below. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Sorry I couldn't do any chrono tests today. I don't have my chrono with me. Sorry, but they're pretty much the same internally. Just take my word for that. Yeah, I will see you next time. Peace.